Hey, what's up? It's Comic95 the Savior, and for this video I want to give you 5 things that I kind of want to go over, giving you a review of the Pokemon Cafe before you decide to make your reservation. So please understand that this is my own personal opinion. If you would like to actually see what the Pokemon Cafe looks like, please be sure to check out my playlist for Pokemon Cafe. I have another video that will show you what the actual cafe experience is like. You can see the show, you can see the food and the environment for yourself if you would like to, before you make your decision. Please also understand that this is the Tokyo location and not Osaka, but they're basically pretty much the same. So, I have my list right here with me, and let's get to it. Number 1, let's talk about the taste of the food. To be totally honest with you, the food was extremely disappointing, even for a themed restaurant. I've been living in Japan for nearly a decade. I'm not just a foreign tourist, and I also want to say that while people might want to say, oh, you know, it's because it's for kids, kids are some pretty picky eaters. So don't get me wrong, most children will eat something just because it has a character that they love. They'll convince themselves that the food tastes good, even although it doesn't. But yeah, just being real with you, like especially if you're going as an adult, which I should also add that to my points too. I'll save that for later, but I'll talk about it now in case I forget. The Pokemon Cafe is not really just intended for children. It's really aimed at adults. We're the ones that are going to be paying the money for it. We're the ones who, you know, have this nostalgic whatever craving for things like this. So don't get it confused and think like, oh, this is just for kids. I'm too old. I'm too big for this. Anybody can go. Of course, they do want to cater to children because, of course, we're the ones who used to watch it when we were kids. But please understand that the majority of people at this place are going to be grown. I mean, people that are in their 20s, 30s, 40s, true diehard otakus, foreigners from other countries, just want to experience a themed restaurant, etc. And of course, you will see children there. There will be babies. There will be small kids. But out of all the people there were only like maybe, I don't know, 5 guests that had children. For the most part, it was just groups of full adults, including just guys, you know, going together. So don't feel like ashamed or embarrassed, like if you're worried about what the environment is going to be like. Oh my god, it's creepy being there, like, you know, as an adult or, you know, as a grown man or whatever. I literally saw groups of guys, and you can also go by yourself. You don't need to be with other people. But long story short, the food did not taste good at all. It was barely edible. It was cold. It was not tasty. It was nothing to be missed. And even the bread, which you would think would be easy, because literally EEVEE was just, you know, a piece of bread. It tasted stale. Like, it just wasn't good at all. And also keep in mind that when you go, which they don't give you anything extra for this either, the food that you want could be sold out. When I went, the Pikachu plates were already sold out, so I didn't even have the option to get what I actually came there for. The plan was for me and my husband to get a Pikachu and EEVEE plate, and we were going to share the Snorlax one, but that was no longer an option at that point. And yeah, basically, don't come there for the food if you're like hoping for a good meal. It looks cute, but to be honest, not to be a hater, just keeping it real, I've been in Japan for nearly a decade. I'm married to a Japanese man. Oftentimes with Japanese food, it looks good, but it doesn't taste good. Like, that goes for pretty much everything. There's a lot of food that looks and even smells really good, but doesn't taste good at all. And I find this to be extremely common with themed restaurants or even like convenience stores. They'll have food that looks really cute, and you'll see it like on TikTok, Instagram, or even on Facebook, even here on YouTube, where you feel like, oh my god, I have to try stuff to get it. And I eat this food and I do it anyway just because it's cute. But people will lie to you and tell you that it tastes good when they know damn well it doesn't. Like, this is off subject, but I like recently went to Yokohama Chinatown again, and when I went there, I was thinking to myself, like, the best food that I had, it actually looked cool, but I've never seen anybody make a video, talk about it, or show it. It was like the spiked bread. It had some sort of like cheese something inside. It was delicious. It was arguably the best street food that I had the whole time I was there. And then the food that looked good, which was like, I had this rainbow nikuman or whatever, so like rainbow pork balls, dumplings or whatever, pork buns. And it was like these rainbow dumplings. They didn't taste good. I mean, it was okay. I had worse, actually. Actually, the black nikuman that I had was the worst. I don't know if I call it nikuman. It was a dumpling. The black dumpling that I had was the absolute worst. The staff was, you know, somewhat rude and forgetful. They were getting ready to close. They forgot our order. We waited for like 20-30 minutes, and then like my husband like finally said, like, hey, like, you know, is my food coming? And they literally like just opened up some crap and threw it in the microwave. Like, what a scam. So long story short, that's another story off subject, but I just want to say, like, if you're going for the food is not good. It's not worth it for just that. It doesn't taste good. You have to remember, you're literally going there for the picture. You're going there for the video. You're going there because the food looks cute, not that it tastes good. So if you're looking for good food, looking for a good filling meal, don't go here. You're not going to be fooled. It is a cafe, but when they say cafe, I mean it's literally a cafe. you are going to be hungry after you leave. That you're not going to feel like you just had dinner, unless it was your goal to like eat every single plate that they had, and then yeah, you'll be full off of not so good tasting food. So it might be Japan, but you have to be real with yourself. The food tastes like trash. I should also add, while we're on the topic of talking about food, the drinks were not good. Now, the smoothie that my husband had, I forgot what the name of it was, but like that purple drink, watched the video. It was okay for what it was. I guess it literally just tastes like grape. I mean, it was grape flavor, but like it tasted like Flavor Aid to me, grape Flavor Aid. I didn't find it to be good personally, but my husband loved it. It had like a bubblegum like smell actually. But my drink, they forgot my drink, so please keep in mind. I remember like reading and hearing like ridiculous stuff like online, like on YouTube and on forums before I came to Japan and started making videos myself. I remember people basically saying you don't need to count your money like in front of the staff because they always give you the right change and they don't make mistakes, blah blah blah. I cannot tell you how many times I've had like delivery drivers, like, you know, from Uber pizza places too, including Japanese pizza places like Pizza La, etc., where they have given me the wrong change back, or I gave them more than they were supposed to get and they didn't even realize it, that they thought that I gave them exact change or whatever. So people, they're human. They make mistakes. Japanese people are still human at the end of the day. They forgot my drink. They weren't very apologetic about it. They got it after the show, at the little Pikachu show, which she just sings if you're happy to know it. We'll get to that later on. And yeah, when they brought it out, I was thinking, okay, like, you know, it's hot chocolate. How can you go wrong with this? Oh my God. It was the worst hot chocolate I've ever had in my entire life. It tasted like they literally took like a little slither, like a little itty bitty crumb of Meiji chocolate, dropped it into the bottom of some hot water, and used brown food coloring. It had no flavor. It literally tasted like water. Horrible. If you were buying it for the cup, then fine, whatever. But it's like, come on, y'all, at least use milk. You're gonna charge all this damn money for the drink. Or at least use, you know, some Swiss Miss or whatever. You could still make a huge profit off of me, because you could buy a whole box of Swiss Miss for like, what, $5 or whatever, less than that. Why are you using hot water for this? We're paying all this damn money for this food. So anyway, long story short, I'm sorry, that was horrible. That was the worst drink I've ever had in Japan. Gotta keep it real. It was water. I paid for hot water. I was pissed off. So yeah, basically, food and drink, not good overall. There's gonna be some things that are good in the menu. I didn't try the entire thing, but I'm just being realistic with you. The overall is, the food is not good. The drinks are not good. You have to remember, you're just paying for the looks and appearance of the food and drinks, not the actual quality and or taste of them. Their goal is to make a huge profit and scam the crap out of you, because they could make a profit and still make good food, but that's not their intention. Like, even the rice, like for the Snorlax plate, they could have just gone to, you know, My Basket, you know, Eon, and, you know, get some, you know, Chowhan or whatever from there. Nope. Let's make the nastiest food possible is what they basically said. So sorry for complaining. Just gotta keep it real. Let me move quickly throughout the rest of this video. Number 2, the ambience. It's pretty nice, calm, chill. Everybody's pretty much trying to take videos and, you know, trying to make sure they order what they wanted to. I think a lot of people were really disappointed the day that I went, obviously, because the Pikachu plate wasn't available. So yeah, the ambience is kind of fun, like, especially like if you get like drinks, you get the option to like get like, you know, a little coaster or whatever, play a little lottery game. So that was fun to do. They have like, you know, Pokemon like on the TVs playing around you. There's lots of like figurines and plushes and, you know, signatures or whatever all over the place. The painting looks cool. The environment looks cool. The little Pokeball bushes. It was really nicely decorated. I thought that the ambience was nice. You felt like you were in like a Pokemon like world. It was nice. But I also won't lie, I gotta give a little bit of criticism. I felt like they could have done more to make it feel more Pokemon like, in my opinion. I felt like they were going too much for an adult modern like theme instead of a Pokemon theme. Like, I felt like they should have been looking more to like how the Smash Bros games are, and like where you have like an actual like Pokemon, you know, arena stadium. Like, I wanted to have a cafe experience like that, but I knew what I was signing up for, so I'm not gonna like take away a point for that. But I'm just keeping it real. Like, while it looked nice to me as an adult, being realistic, I kind of would have liked a more kiddie type of feel. I wanted it to be more like something straight out of the TV show, and that's not what they offered. So kind of a little bit of a drawback. It was a nice ambience, but I feel like the reason why it was nice is mainly because like they just had Pokemon Cafe written everywhere and random Pikachus everywhere, and they had the TV going, so it was okay. it was good. It was nice. It was comfortable. It was relaxed. I didn't feel uncomfortable. I felt comfortable in my seat. It wasn't the most comfortable chair, but like, it wasn't uncomfortable either. But you know what I mean? Like, I didn't feel like I was being rushed. In fact, I felt that I had too much time. You might think the 90 minutes that you get is not enough, but it's more than enough to eat unless you're trying to order everything off the menu. They don't rush and push you out. You just see them start cleaning up tables, and people start leaving on their own anyway. They want to, get on, do the next thing. The show is over. They have their pictures. They have the picture of the food, the pictures of Pikachu. They're ready to move on. And, of course, the Pokemon, center is right next door, too. Although, really, that's not the best one to go to. You should go to the one in Ikebukuro. It's the biggest in the world. So, as of the making of this video, at least. So, yeah, the ambience is nice overall. Number 3, the experience. So, being totally honest with you, I felt they could have done more for the actual show. It seemed, I know it's supposed to be for kids, essentially, but it seemed really cheesy, really stupid, especially when adults are your market, whatever. We're the ones paying for it. How many adults bring their kids to Japan? Not so many. Like, the majority of adults coming to Japan are old people, single people, and literally the entire restaurant was foreigners. Like, there was literally, I think maybe one other Japanese family, maybe, but that was it. Like, my husband didn't notice anybody. He thought he was the only person there. So, yeah, with that said, there were people that did speak Japanese that were foreigners, but, it seemed like he was the only Japanese person there. Because, even the staff, kept being told, oh, you're Japanese, so we can speak to you in Japanese. So, anyway, I felt that because they know that the show was really going to be geared towards foreigners, it would make sense to have the show in English. Just keeping it real with you. I know people are going to roll their eyes, oh, this is Japan, but you're dealing with tourists and tourist dollars. And unlike English, like me as an American, where it's a universal language that everybody can understand, Japanese is not. It's a little island language that's pretty, useless, keeping it real. And with that said, it's fine to do the show in Japanese, but I feel like it should be available in both languages, or at least a translation should be given to you. Because while I understood, because I live here and I can speak some Japanese, everybody else there had no idea what was going on. Like, they didn't know, do I clap now? Like, what the fuck is this bitch talking about? They talked and gave instructions for what to do for a good 5-10 minutes, going over all the rules. You're not supposed to touch Pikachu. You cannot take pictures next to him, not even with your children. You can take photos and videos of him. He'll wave to you and everything. It's probably a girl inside that suit because Pikachu's a little short, but they went over what they want you to do for the song and everything like that, and nobody had any clue as to what was going on. And at times, I didn't even understand what they were trying to ask us to do. The staff seemed really stiff and not really into it, but they're trying to seem like they were in the spirit of it. They were helpful, when you went to take pictures. And there, also that's the ambience part. They had a little bench where you can actually sit and take photos. And I never saw anybody talk about this. I showed you guys inside of my experience video, the bench you can sit down on. It's made to be a photo op. And so you can also even ask the staff to take a photo of you together with your family, so you don't have to do it yourself. They will do that for you. They're kind in that sense. I should also add one more point to the food. They do not do custom orders. So if you have allergies, etc., you can order from their list of things that are okay for you, but they will not make any special exceptions, remove food, take away milk, etc. You either take it as it is or you don't eat it. So that kind of sucks for you, but that's the way that it goes. So you're also not allowed to take food home. So keep that in mind too. You cannot take food home. But being realistic, if you don't ask the staff and you just stash it in your bag on your own, not the actual plate that's stealing, but if you bring your own ghetto Ziploc bag container, ain't nobody finna stop you. But just don't make it where it's super obvious and don't ask the staff beforehand because you might be asked to leave. But you can always just play dumb, oh, I didn't know. So, not trying to teach you to do wrong, but I'm just saying, hey, you spent your own money on it. You ain't doing nothing bad that's going to affect other people. In fact, you're doing the staff a favor. They have less food to clean off of your plate. So, yeah, anyway, they just sing, the silly, Pikachu version, if you're happy, it, Pikachu, song. It's cute, especially if you have children. Not trying to knock it, but it's being real. I feel like they don't know their audience market. For example, when you go to other touristy places, for example, Sensoji, they have everything available in an English translation. You can see what these different statues are in English. So you're not just taking pictures, not knowing what you're actually looking at. Well, I feel like with this, they should have an English translation to let you know what's going on when they're doing all of this. They could literally just put it on the table, with the menu. It can be on the wall, explaining what you're expected to do, what's going on. Because I felt like that kind of made it hard for the staff too, because nobody's literally clapping, nobody's in the mood, nobody's doing anything, and then yeah, I just feel like that kind of ruins the experience for both the guests and the staff, because it seems kind of awkward that they're just singing the song and doing this clapping and they're talking in these high-pitched super cutesy voices that are super fake and obviously done for work. So it's just weird for foreigners that are visiting Japan. I live here, I'm used to this stuff, but like, yeah, like for foreign people, like, it's just strange, especially when you consider the fact that most of the people inside this place are adults. It's groups of men, groups of women. There were lots of single otaku men here. It's not just ladies. So don't feel shy and embarrassed. Remember, Pokemon is a lot more popular with men than it is women. So this is really a video game, it's an anime, etc. It's become more popular, and people have made it more on the cutesy side. So oftentimes posers, false flagging girls, pretend like they're into anime and the video games, they oftentimes choose Pokemon as their go-to. It's kind of the cute in-between. It's little animals. Kind of like Animal Crossing, but that's a whole nother story. So, I mean, like, in the sense of, like, it's a cute game where it's a video game, but it's girly enough where it doesn't feel like a video game, so to speak. No offense to the men that play Animal Crossing. But back on subject. Yeah, the experience was about 11 minutes long, and I felt that they should have done some other stuff. I just feel like it was kind of weird. I feel like also for the money that you're paying, I get it, but I feel like they should allow you to line up and get a photo together with Pikachu, at least for your children, if not for the adults and kids. I just feel like it's only fair, just like Disney. Especially since you have to go through all of the crap in order to get the reservation to begin with. I feel like that's totally unfair to you. So, off of that, talking about, you know, the experience and whatnot, that's literally it. He's just gonna do a show, walk around, wave to you. He'll wave several times walking out. Literally watch my video. I show the experience so you can see exactly what's going to happen. They do the same thing every time. There's no change. So, yeah. Moving on. Number 4, the cost. It is very expensive. By the time you're done just paying for food and drinks for just 2 people, you're going to be spending close to $100, or, you know, in Japanese money. So close to 10,000 yen, especially if you choose to buy, like, you know, a plush or some sort of, like, you know, dish or whatever. You'll easily make it to 10,000 yen. And that might seem reasonable, you know, for a dinner. But when you consider the fact that you're not going to be full after eating this, and your drink probably isn't going to taste that good depending on what you order, you're going to feel kind of cheated. Like, what you spend 10,000 yen at Starbucks? No. But at least Starbucks tastes pretty damn good. And there's some haters that pretend like Starbucks don't taste good, but you get what I'm trying to say. It will be money well spent because at least the food and drink was good. This place is the polar opposite. You're paying a lot of money for food and drink that's not good and not filling. Starbucks tastes good, and after you eat and drink it, you will be full, and you will have the energy that you need if you're drinking it or eating it, you know, for the energy boost, get some caffeine in you. So I feel like when it comes to cost performance, not worth it. You have to go through so much of a hassle to get that reservation, and I feel like they should at least make the food taste good, if not, nonetheless. And because they know that people are going to be there for that Pikachu meal, there's no excuse for running out of that. That just literally makes absolutely no sense. It would be like if you paid money for a Christmas dinner and they tell you, oh, sorry, we have no ham and no turkey. That's like literally the main course that we're going to be eating for Christmas dinner. Like, what? It makes no sense. So, and people are trying to make an excuse, oh, it's because of, you know, the pandemic, whatever. I promise you it has nothing to do with that. There's no shortage of food. They just literally didn't have enough in stock, or I don't know, something went wrong with what they had on hand. There was no excuse for that. And if there was, I feel like they should have given us all a voucher to come back again another day and be able to, you know, skip the line or whatever and just wait for an empty seat or something like that. Or at least like giving us a discount on our food. We should have gotten a free dessert, a free drink, something to make up for that. And I get it, not everybody was going to get the Pikachu plate, but the reason why it ran out in the first place is because it was popular. So I feel like that should have been offered to us. There was no, you know, rain check, whatever type of system, and I feel like that was unfair in that sense, because if I were to be a tourist visiting Japan, like almost everyone there was, I would have been extremely disappointed. I came all the way across the world to have this experience, to eat this meal, and I can't do it. Like, it reminds me of the people that are like from France and, you know, the US, etc., that came here to go to Super Nintendo World before the one opened in the US, and then they found out that they needed to have gotten there early, they needed to do a lottery system, or have bought in the fast pass, whatever, you know, the whatever you call the little express ticket, whatever. And then because they didn't do that, they basically missed out, and they just got a regular theme park, and they might not care about Harry Potter, they might not care about all the other stuff, and now they're like, I just wasted my time. I came all the way across the world specifically to experience this. Now me and my kids disappointed. I feel like this was the same sort of situation. You're dealing with some die-hard Pokemon fans, both adults and kids, and for them to spend all this money, all this time, and stayed up all night and, you know, scouring your website waiting for an opening just for that meal to not be available, that's unforgivable to me. So that didn't leave a good taste in my mouth. And yeah, the cost is just astronomical. It's ridiculous how much you're paying for the food when you consider how little food you actually get. You're literally paying, what, about $20-$30 just to get a salad and a piece of bread, essentially, and a baby serving of soup, which none of it tasted even decent, being real with you. It was somewhere on a border between flavorless, bland, and nasty. That was literally the taste of it. And so for it to cost even $20 is too much. And so I'm speaking in terms that are kind of easy to understand. I'm saying $20, but really it was more like about, what, 1,800 or 1,900 yen or whatever. It's still too much money for what you get. And you're forced to order at least one thing per person. So they make sure that they get their money out of you, and they still don't even provide you with a decent meal or a decent drink for that matter, which that's even easier and cheap. Like, drinks are the easiest thing to make profits on for companies, because you're paying the cost that it costs to buy the entire bottle for just one drink. So for example, if you buy orange juice, even at a cheap price of $2 or $1, which you'll never find a 100 yen or 200 yen drink, normally they're going to cost at least 300 yen, or 250 is like typically the minimum. Even if it costs that little, they only paid about, what, 150 or 200 yen for an entire, 2 liters of it or whatever, or 1,000 milliliters. So for it to cost that much money and you still can't even give me a decent drink, like, you can make good hot chocolate using hot water, but use formal cocoa powder. Come on, there was no excuse for that. So anyway, it's not worth the cost. It's very expensive considering how little you get and how bad the taste is. Not everything on the menu is horrible, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, everything is basic to bland tasting and nothing memorable, to be honest. The thing that you'll remember is the cute EEVEE face, the cute Pikachu face, the Snorlax plate. You'll remember these things about it, but you're not going to remember the taste of. I don't even remember what the food tastes like. I just remember that it tastes like crap. And the only thing that stuck with me was that hot water that they painted brown. It tasted like painted brown hot water. That food coloring hot water. That's all I remember. Because the food was so not unmemorable. It just wasn't good. Not worth the cost. And number 5, overall, was it worth it? So, you might think that you already know the answer based off of what I said, but I want to tell you, you don't. Short answer, yes, it was. And to be honest, I'd probably do it again, and not just because I'm a YouTuber. If you really love Pokemon and you love themed cafes and you just want to have a nice childlike experience and relax and enjoy yourself, it is worth every penny that you spent. However, if you're not a huge Pokemon fan, you're not doing this for TikTok or Instagram or even YouTube, and your goal is to really enjoy yourself, have a nice meal, sit down, whatever, then if that is, it's not your goal to do that, then I would say hard pass. It's not worth the time it takes to get a reservation. It's not worth the money that you're going to spend. The food doesn't taste good. The ambience is a little bit strange. And it's just not worth it for those people. But if you like Pokemon, you like anime, you like this type of experience, then I would say it's worth it. I personally would say it's worth it. I still enjoyed myself. I liked being there. I thought that it was fun. I just feel like they could have done more. They could have made it more fun. I feel like they could even have a dueling table for you to use. I feel like the cafe needs to be bigger. And I feel like I got it, they're trying to make extra money by putting the Pokemon Center there. Excuse me, I needed the cough. But I was saying, I get it, they're trying to make money. But I feel like they should have made an even smaller version of the Pokemon Center that's there. And I felt they should have used more of that hallway space instead of giving you a big picturesque area. I feel like they should have used more of that space for the actual cafe, and that the seats should have been closer together to allow for more people. And to be honest, I feel like the cafe won't be as busy if they get rid of the reservation only system. They've made a demand issue by limiting the supply. Because they made it where there's only a set amount of time slots and a set amount of seats, and they've made a set time of having that 90 minutes instead of even shortening the time, because really you don't need 90 minutes to eat that meal. I feel like it would be less busy and people would enjoy themselves more, and I feel like they should offer more there. They can even have gachapon, more like machine stuff. I feel like there was so much stuff that they missed on an opportunity to do from a business perspective and from a tourist, a customer perspective, whatever. So yeah, but off of that, I'm not giving my 2 cents on that. I just feel like if you like Pokemon, it's definitely worth it. It's a fun experience. It's a must-see place. But if you're not into Pokemon, you're not a fan of anime, you're not someone that's into video games, you're not doing this, more importantly, for social media, you are going to feel like you wasted your money. So if you don't have a lot of money, you're going here without much, it's not worth it. If you have a child that really loves it, then it definitely is worth it. So do keep that in mind. I have another video that will give you advice on how to make reservations, etc., that will come after this video for tomorrow, once I upload this one. So please watch that video if you're like trying to figure out how do I get a reservation, how does this whole system work, or if you're like, oh my god, it's my child's birthday, it's my anniversary, I want to go here, I don't have a reservation, how can I still get a seat? You can watch that video. It will give you advice on how to handle that. I'm sorry for making this video so long, but I want it to be thorough and basically say overall, it's worth it if you like Pokemon and if you're trying to do this for social media. If you're not doing it for social media and you're not a true Pokemon fan, do not go. You will not be fooled. You will not be happy. You will feel unsatisfied for the most part. If you're adventurous and just want to say that you went and just do it just for the sake of the experience, then you should go too. But I will say I highly suggest that you go out to eat after this and like eat somewhere like, I don't know, Tokyo Station. There's plenty of places you can go. You can go to Ginza, anything. I would not just go there and go back home. You more than likely will not feel full. Your children more than likely won't feel full. And if your children are not huge Pokemon fans either, they will not be impressed either. Like, the plate looks cute, but it doesn't taste good. You're literally paying all that money for a piece of bread and salad and some dried up rice. It's not worth it. And I just add this too, the food is cold. Even when it comes out to you, it's not going to be fresh and hot. It's going to be cold, and you're kind of like in an awkward situation. Do I take pictures and videos, or do I eat my food? And if I'm watching the show, I can't really enjoy my food, but then my food gets cold because I'm watching the show. And so yeah, but don't worry about the time. You have more than enough time. I should also add that into this too. You have more than enough time to finish your food. It does not take 90 minutes to eat this. The show is only going to be about 11 minutes. So even if you wait until the show is done to order your food or to eat, you're not going to need that much time. It doesn't take them a long time to bring your food out either. They bring it out pretty fast because they only have a set amount of options you can choose from. It's kind of like McDonald's, and they already know what you're going to order anyway for the most part. So yeah, it's overall worth it in that sense. You have an ample amount of time to eat your food. They do have some nice things that you can buy technically, but like even then, I feel like a lot of people are just buying the souvenirs just because it's Chef Pikachu theme. And if you're a huge Pokemon fan, then fine. I love Pokemon, but I don't love it enough where I feel the need to like waste money on that. I would go back and like buy the dishes for my children because they're cute, so I do plan to go back and buy Pikachu and like EEVEE plate and like some forks and spoons or whatever. I'm gonna get that for my child, but I would not suggest like doing this just for the sake of like going just to go and have a good meal, because you're not going to have that. You can talk. It's not a very loud environment. The loudest thing will be the TV, which is pretty quiet, if you can even hear it at all. I can't say that like the place was like completely quiet, like pin drop quiet, but it wasn't loud either. Like, it's hard to explain. It wasn't loud, it wasn't quiet. It's kind of like in between. Yeah, like it goes by really fast. And like even when we were leaving, we didn't leave super early, but like it seemed like everybody else had already left before us. Like by the time we got ready to start leaving, almost everyone had left. People were kind of just sitting around and I don't know, waiting or whatever. Like there was nothing really going on. And so they kind of make it where you want to leave, because after the Pikachu show is done, there's nothing going on. It's just you and your not good tasting food staring at each other. So it's like I finish eating my food and I leave. So I ate everything only because we paid for it and it was so damn expensive. But otherwise, that was definitely food worthy of leaving on the table. So I'm done with this video. So yeah, I'm sorry for being negative. Had to keep it real. The experience was a bit lackluster. Worth it for Pokemon fans, not worth it if you're not. If you have the money, you have the time, and preferably if you like Pokemon or you're an influencer, definitely don't skip, go there. Once in a lifetime experience. Is it worth it? Not really. So that's all for this video. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you have not seen what the Pokemon Cafe looks like, or if you want to see the full experience, because a lot of these videos don't show you everything, please consider checking out my playlist on this. I'll probably link it down below in the comment section. You can watch the actual experience. It's about 29-30 minutes, and see what the actual cafe looks like before you choose to book. And before you go, and see if it's worth it to you. Again, the food doesn't really taste good, and you can't see, I mean, by looking in the video, it looks cute, but like if you're actually eating it, you'll be like, oh my god, this is just, I can buy this at the dollar store. So the meal is not really expensive itself. It's just like, $19-16, but when you consider what you're getting for that price, it's pretty expensive. So yeah, please check out my playlist. You can watch that video there, and you can also see my video tomorrow, depending on when you're watching this video, or later on it'll be added to the playlist. I will also give advice on how to make a reservation at the Pokemon Cafe. So yeah, that's all for this video. Thank you for listening and thank you for watching. If you have any other questions, please leave a comment down below. Please don't forget to like this video. If you have any questions, leave a comment or send me an email, and I'll try my best to answer your question in a future video. I make videos about Japan, working, studying, living, dating here. So if you have any questions, please also make sure you check out my YouTube channel's homepage. I probably have already answered your question in a previous video. Otherwise, I'd appreciate if you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Comic95. I have a Snapchat and TikTok at Comic the Savior, and a Facebook fan page at Comic95 the Savior, and a blog at Comic95.com. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you for watching, and I hope you'll watch another video. Bye.